Hello future engineers, subscribers, viewers, and students. Here is a video in Differential Calculus 3 Part 2. So it's about solutions to sample problems in this part. So particularly, we'll take up problems on maxima, minima. Then we have differentials and time rates, part 1 also of time rates. Example 9. Make the curve y equals ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d pass through the point -1, -1 and have at 1, 3 an inflection point with inflectional tangent for x minus y equals 1. So for this curve, there are 4 unknowns. Let's find the values of a, b, c, and d respectively. And there must be 4 conditions. 1. These points, -1, -1, and 1, 3 are points on the curve. So, 2 conditions already. And 1, 3, at 1, 3, it is also a point of inflection. So, y double prime is 0 there. That's the third condition. And since the inflectional tangent is given, so the slope y prime is equal to 4 at 1, 3 also. So that completes the conditions needed to solve this problem. So call this equation 1, the equation of the curve, differentiating ones, 3ax squared plus 2bx plus c, equation 2, and second derivative, 6ax plus 2b, call that equation 3. Let's substitute -1, -1. So y is -1, a -1 cubed plus b -1 squared plus c -1 plus d equals 0. Then rearranging all terms at the right to the left and -1 to the right. So a minus b plus c minus d equals 1. Call that equation A. Then the point 1, 3, y is 3 equals a times 1 cube b plus b times 1 square plus c times 1 plus d equals 0. Then rearranging, we have a plus b plus c plus d equals 3. Call that equation B. Then y double prime 0, point of inflection 1, 3. So 0 equals in 6 into this equation here, equation 3. 6a times 1 plus 2b, so b equals -3a, call that equation C. Then finally, y prime is 4, the slope of this line is 4, the slope of the tangent is also 4. Into equation 2, y prime 4 equals 3a 1 squared plus 2b times 1 plus c. And then we substitute the value of, call that equation D. So 3a plus 2b plus c equals 4, call that equation D. So your calculator is capable of solving 4 simultaneous equations. So go ahead, I'll just solve this by algebraic process, because it can also improve your thinking skills, patience needed to successfully analyze a mathematical problem. So equation A plus equation B to eliminate B and D. That one. So 2A plus 2C equals 1 plus 3, 4. Simplifying, dividing everything by 2. So A plus C equals 2. Call that equation AB. Then in equation D, we substitute the value of B, which is -3A, from equation C. Then this reduces to -3A plus C equals 4. Call that equation CD. So we can now eliminate C from equations AB and CD by subtracting equation CD from equation AB. So subtracting, we can eliminate C. So A minus -3A is 4A, and 2 minus 4 is -2. So A is -1/2. Then B is negative 3 times negative 1 half, so 3 halves. Then into A plus C equals 2. So A is negative 1 half, C unknown, so equals 2. So C therefore is 2 plus 1 half, that's 5 halves. Then finally into equation B, A is negative 1 half, B is 3 halves, C is 5 halves, D is unknown, equals 3. So solving for D, D is negative 1 half. The equation of the cubic therefore is y equals ax cubed, negative 1 half x cubed, plus b 3 halves of x squared, plus cx 5 halves of x, plus d, which is negative 1 half. Multiply everything by 2, so the equation of the cubic is 2y equals negative x cubed plus 3x squared plus 5x minus 1. Example 10. A wall 10 feet high is 8 feet from a house. Find the length of the shortest ladder that will reach the house when one end rests on the ground outside the wall. So this is the situation. We have this ladder that will reach the house. Particularly, somebody will be planning to elope with her, with his girlfriend, and vice versa. So that's possible nowadays. So the angle of inclination is, let us say, theta. Let's set up trigonometric equations here. You can have algebraic equation, but it's lengthy a bit. So I just use trigonometric relation by making this theta, this one theta. So this is h, which is actually 10 feet, and the wall is 8 feet from the house. So that's 8 feet. So therefore, in terms of theta and h, this hypotenuse is h cosecant theta, because cosecant theta is hypotenuse over h. So therefore, the hypotenuse is h cosecant theta. Likewise, secant beta is equal to hypotenuse over b. So therefore, the hypotenuse is b secant theta. The length of the ladder, therefore, in terms of a single variable, which is theta, is h cosecant theta plus b secant theta. Because it is expressed in just one variable, theta, let's differentiate L with respect to theta. So derivative of cosecant is negative cosecant theta cotangent theta plus b constant derivative of secant theta tangent theta. Then we equate to 0 because this is a problem in maxima minima. At the lowest point on the curve, the derivative is, the slope of the tangent is 0. So, or the tangent is horizontal. That's why we equate it to 0. So substitute, transpose this negative term to the right. Then let's just express everything in terms of sine and cosine. So b secant theta is b times 1 over cosine theta. Tangent theta is sine theta over cosine theta, equals h cosecant theta is 1 over sine theta, cotangent theta, cosine theta, sine theta. So sine, 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 sine cube theta times b equals cosine, cosine, cosine. So cosine cube theta times h. That means tangent cube theta equals h over b. So tangent theta is cube root of h over b. So if you want to memorize, then you should memorize. It is easy to memorize. Tangent cube of, or tangent of theta is cube root of h over b. It's cube root of h over b. Tangent theta. So tangent theta is cube root of h 10 feet over b 8 feet. So theta is 47.129 degrees. Substitute into this formula that assigns for theta, that gives the minimum length of the ladder. So 10 over sine of 47.129 degrees plus b8 over cosine of 47.129 degrees. So the minimum length is 25.4 feet. Example 11. A uniform rod of length 3r rests inside an hemispherical bowl of radius big R as shown in the figure. Neglecting friction, determine the angle theta corresponding to equilibrium. So I'll present two solutions here. One is using statics and the second one, of course, using calculus because this is calculus. So the free body diagram of the uniform rod would be at the center of gravity, we have weight, and the center of gravity is located from one end half of 3r, so 1.5 r as shown. So this is theta, and we have here the reaction at A, which is perpendicular to the tangent surface here. So because that radial line passes through the center of the circle, and when extended, it crosses with the line of action of the weight because this rod is a 3/4 body. Take note from statics. Then at C, also perpendicular to the axis of the rod, they all meet at this point. These 3 points are concurrent. These 3 forces are concurrent. That's why they are in equilibrium. So the measure of this angle and this angle equal to theta, because we have horizontal then common hypotenuse. So this is horizontal and that's theta also. So because this is theta and that triangle COA is an isosceles triangle, that's the radius, that's also the radius. So therefore this is also theta. The total angle that RA makes with horizontal therefore is 2 theta. And since this is horizontal, that's vertical, we have a right triangle and this angle measure is 90 degrees minus 2 theta. Likewise, the angle of inclination of the rod is equal to the angle between the vertical and the normal or R sub C, which is perpendicular to the rod. So that is theta. Then we draw the force triangle. We have the weight, then RA, that direction, RA, then R sub C to close the polygon. So angle between the vertical and RA vertical is 90 degrees minus theta. The angle between RC and the vertical is theta. So this angle is 180 degrees minus theta minus quantity 90 degrees minus 2 theta. So that's why this is 90 degrees plus theta. If you check 90 degrees plus theta, 90 degrees plus 2 theta, plus 90 degrees minus 2 theta is 180 degrees. We then apply sine law to so express R sub C in terms of W. So that is W as to sine of 90 degrees minus theta equals R sub C as to sine of 90 degrees minus 2 theta. So this is like sine of complement of 2 theta, or sine of 90 degrees minus 2 theta, which is cosine of 2 theta. While sine of quantity 90 degrees plus theta, if expanded, sine 90, 1 cosine theta. So cosine theta plus cosine 90, 0 sine theta. So that's 0. So therefore, this is sine 90 cosine theta, or cosine. This is simply cosine theta. So W over cosine theta equals R sub C over sine of complement of 2 theta is cosine 2 theta. R sub C therefore is W cosine 2 theta over cosine theta. Then we sum up moments about A equals 0. So R sub A times this length. The length of this bar is equal to take note that from any point on the circle, on the circumference of the circle to the ends of the diameter, the chords are perpendicular to each other. So that's one chord. This is the other chord. This chord here is the bar, uniform rod or bar, and this is the other chord. So that's 90 degrees. And since this is the diameter 2r and it makes an angle with this bar theta, so the length from C to A is 2r. So it needs also plane trigonometry, concepts on plane trigonometry to successfully analyze this. Without that, you might not be able to solve this. So that's why this is 2r cosine theta. Hypotenuse 2r, then this is theta, so 2r cosine 2 theta. Likewise, this horizontal distance moment arm of the weight is 1.5 r cosine theta. And for the second solution, let's set up this first. This is 1.5 r sine theta, hypotenuse 1.5 r, opposite to theta, so 1.5 r sine theta. Then this vertical distance here, considering this right triangle, that's right triangle, or vertical, horizontal, and the angle is theta, and this length is equal to 2r cosine theta. So this is opposite of theta. So it is hypotenuse 2r cosine theta times sine theta. So I put it here. So let's continue. After we sum up moments about A is equal to 0, so we have counterclockwise positive r sub c times 2r cosine theta equals w times 1.5r cosine theta. So we cancel r, then substitute r sub c, which is w cosine 2 theta over cosine theta. So what remains here is 2 cosine theta equals w times 1.5 cosine theta. Let's cancel w, then this is it. So cancel w and cosine theta from the left side of the equation. So what remains is 2 cosine 2 theta, and at the right side 1.5 cosine theta. So you may use trigonometric identity for cosine 2 theta, 2 cosine square theta minus 1. Then transpose this to the left. Then we have quadratic formula. You'll get theta equals 23.21 degrees. But if you have your high-tech calculator there, which is allowed in the board exam for civil engineers, then you can also get 23.21 degrees. Now for the second solution, which is calculus, the smooth rod will be at rest when its center of gravity is farthest from the top, farthest from the center, vertically farthest from the center. So like, for instance, if you put a ball here, the ball will first sway back and forth until such a time that it will settle at the bottom, and that will only be in equilibrium when its center of gravity is farthest from the top. If not farthest, it will still continue to roll back and forth until it will be at rest. So that's the idea. In other words, we maximize the distance of the center of gravity from that diameter, the top. So I enlarge this portion. We have a right triangle here. That's vertical, that's horizontal, which is now this part here. And I'll call this y. So take note that this is equal to the difference between 2r cosine theta and 1.5r. A to g is 1.5r. So this hypotenuse here is 2r cosine theta minus 1.5r. Therefore, y is equal to also this y here is equal to this vertical distance, which is 2r cosine theta sine theta minus vertical distance from G to same horizontal level as A, which is 1.5r sine theta. So factoring out r, and take note that from trigonometric identity, 2 sine theta cosine theta or 2 cosine theta sine theta is sine 2 theta. Then we have minus 1.5 sine theta. Differentiating, maximizing y with respect to theta, then equate to 0. We have r copy, derivative of sine 2 theta is cosine 2 theta times the derivative of 2 theta, which is 2 with respect to theta, of course, then minus 1.5 constant derivative of sine theta cosine theta, then equate to 0. So 0 divided by r is still 0. Therefore, 2 cosine 2 theta minus 1.5 cosine theta equals 0, or simply 2 cosine theta, 2 cosine 2 theta equals 1.5 cosine theta, which is the same equation arrived at in the first solution. So therefore, the answer is the same. Example 12. The stiffness of a rectangular beam is proportional to the breadth and the cube of the depth. Find the shape of the stiffest beam that can be cut from a log of given size. So the diameter of the log, that's the size, is given capital D. That means that's constant. We will call the breadth of the beam as x and the depth as y. So from this statement on variation, stiffness capital S is proportional to, so we have a constant of proportionality, the breadth x and the cube of the depth, so y cube. So replacing x by Pythagoras theorem, x is square root of d squared minus y squared. Then we have expressed s in terms of a single variable y. Differentiating ds, derivative of s with respect to y, equals constant k times the quantity first, derivative of second 3y squared, plus second y cubed, derivative of square root of d squared minus y squared is derivative of d squared minus y squared, which is negative 2y, with respect to y, of course, over 2 square root of u. Remember the formula of derivative of square root of u, then equate to 0. So cancel 2, then we transpose this to the right, so we have positive y to the fourth over positive y square, rather. Divide everything first by y square. So this is just 3 square root of d squared minus y squared. And this is y to the fourth over y squared. So y square left. So y squared over square root of d squared minus y squared. Cross multiply 3 times quantity d squared minus y squared, and take note that d squared minus y squared is x squared, then equals y squared in the right side. Extracting the square root, so y is square root of 3 times x, which means that the depth is square root of 3 times the breadth. So the statement have been stiffness of a rectangular beam is proportional to the breadth and the square of the depth, then this should have been, this relationship would be square root of 2 times the breadth. So as another problem. Example 13, the altitude of a certain right circular cone is the same as the radius of the base and is measured as 20 centimeters with a possible error of 0.08 centimeters. Find approximately the percentage error in the calculated value of the volume. So the volume of a right circular cone is pi radius squared times height over 3. The radius is denoted by x and the height by y. So in this problem, it is mentioned that the height is equal to the radius. The altitude is the same as the radius and is measured as 20 cm. With a possible error, differential radius or differential h 0.08 cm, differential y or differential x, same. Then we replace x by y, so the volume reduces to pi over 3 y cubed. Obtaining the differential, so differential of v dv, differential of the right side is pi over 3 times 3y squared dy, cancel 3, so pi y squared dy. So dv over v, dv pi y squared dy over v pi y cubed over 3 reduces to 3 times dy over y. So percent relative error in volume, or percent dv over v, is equal to, so 3 times 100, 300, then dy over y. Substituting dy is 0.08 and y is 20. 20 cm. So that would be in percentage. So percentage error in the calculated value of the volume is 1.2%. Then problem 13, the measure of the electrical resistance of a wire is proportional to the measure of its length and inversely proportional to the square of the measure of its diameter. Suppose that the resistance of a wire of given length, constant length, is computed from a measurement of the diameter with a possible 2% error. So the error in the diameter is 2%. That is 100% of differential d over d. But differential d over d, relative error in the diameter is 0.02. So restating this problem, writing it as an equation, resistance is proportional to, so we have constant of proportionality k, the length, and inversely as the square of its diameter. Since the length is constant, KL would be constant. So therefore, R is equal to KL over D squared, and take note this is constant. So R is also KL times D to the negative 2 to apply power formula. So the differential of R therefore is constant KL times negative of 2 power formula D to the negative 2 minus 1, so negative 3 times differential of the diameter. So dr over R, therefore, this is differential R, negative 2 d to the negative 3 differential d times KL divided by R, which is KL d to the negative 2. So it reduces to negative 2 differential d over d. So percent error in the computed value of the resistance is equal to negative 2 times percent of dd over d is plus minus 2%, because that's not clearly stated here. So there are two possibilities. It may be positive or negative. So therefore, the percent error in the computed value of the resistance is plus minus 4%. Example 15. The radius of a sphere is claimed to be 6 inches with a possible error of 0.02 inch. Use differentials to approximate the maximum possible error in the calculated volume of the sphere, the surface area of the sphere, and third, what is the relative error in parts A and B. So first, for part A, volume of sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. So the differential is 4 pi r squared times the differential of r. Then substitute, r is 6 inches and differential r, the error in the measured radius, is 0.02. So that's why dV is 9.048 cubic inches. For the second part, surface area, relative error in the surface area of sphere is 4 pi r squared. Differential area S therefore is 8 pi r differential r. Substitute, r is 6, dr is 0.02, so 3.016 square inches, the calculated error in the surface area. Then letter C, the relative error in volume and in surface area. Relative error in volume dV over V, that's differential V. This is the volume original. Simplifying, that's 3dr over r, 3dr over r. So 3 times differential r 0.02 over r6, that would be 1 over 100. Meaning of that, 1 cubic unit allowed per 100 cubic units of calculated volume. Differential area S over area S, relative error in the surface area. Differential area S is 8 pi r dr, then surface area 4 pi r square. Simplifying, that's 2 dr over r. Substitute 2 times 0.02 over 6 is 1 over 50. Problem 16. The cube has an edge of 6 meters. Use differentials to approximate the volume in liters of paint needed with a coat thickness of 0.18 mm. So to convert this to meter, we just divide that by 1000. Volume of cube is E cube. So the differential volume is 3 times E squared times differential E. Take note that the differential E is not 0.18 mm. This is the thickness of the coat, since if you draw a cube, that's error, or that's the thickness of the coat in one side here, then another side 0.18. Therefore, the total error in the edge E is 0.36, 0.18 on that side, 0.18 on the other side. The whole dimension is E, and this is just 1/2 of DE, 1/2 of DE. So DE is equal to 2 times 0.18 or 0.36. So 0.36 mm, substitute 3 times 6 square, 0.36 over 1000. This is in meter, so that's cubic meter. We multiply further by 1000 to convert it to liters. So 38.88 liters. Example 17. One leg of a right triangle is always 6 feet long, and the other leg is increasing at a rate of 2 feet per second. Find the rate of change of the hypotenuse when it is 10 feet long. So it's better to solve this directly than applying the calculator techniques. I I know how to solve this using the calculator technique, but I will not teach you that. It's better to solve it this way. So this is the hypotenuse. This is one leg which is fixed 6 feet, and this is the other leg which is changing. I'll call that X. By the way, these two legs can be interchanged. The answer would be the same. So hypotenuse squared by Pythagoras theorem equals x squared plus 6 squared. Differentiating 2h dh dt equals 2x dx dt. Cancel 2. Then when the hypotenuse is 10 feet, when this is 10 feet, and that is 6, so automatic, this should be 8 from 6, 8, 10 relationship. So h10 dh dt equals x8 dx dt is 2 feet per second. The other leg is increasing at the rate of 2 feet per second. That's the rate of change of this variable, positive 2. So therefore, dh dt is 2.6 feet per second. Example 18. The base of an isosceles triangle is 8 feet long. If the altitude is 6 feet long and is increasing 3 inches per minute, at what rate are the base angles changing in radians per minute? So this is the isosceles triangle. The base is 8 feet. So let's draw the altitude, which will cut the base into 2 equal parts. So 4 feet, 4 feet. These two angles are equal, base angles. And this is the hypotenuse. When h is only 6, that length of hypotenuse would be 2 square root of 13. Square root of 4 square plus 6 square, that's 2 square root of 13. So let's define this base angle. Tangent of theta is opposite h over 4. So differentiating the derivative with respect to time, of course, derivative of tangent is secant squared theta times derivative of theta with respect to time. This is the rate at which the angle is changing, expressed in radians per minute later. Then 1/4 times dh dt. Substitute, secant square is hypotenuse 2 over square root of 13 over adjacent 4. quantity square, d theta dt, equals 1/4. dH dt is 3 inches per minute, and 3 inches per minute is 3/12, or 1/4 of a foot per minute. So the unit there would be, this is in feet square, this is in foot square, cancel foot square, so radian unitless per minute. So d theta dt is, of course, cancel 4 square. This is 4 square. We have 4 square in the denominator also. So 2 square 4 times 13 is 52. Therefore, d theta dt is 1/52 radians per minute. Problem 19. A conical tank is 10 feet across the top and 12 feet deep. If oil is poured into the tank at the rate of 1 cubic foot per second, how fast is the surface rising when the oil is 8 feet deep? So I use similar solids here. You may denote the radius of the water surface at any time as r, then find a way to express that in terms of h. Then the differential volume here is, it's like a coin, is pi r square, where r is in terms of h, differential h. So the thickness of this coin-like surface is dh. Then divide that by dt, that would be dv dt. And the result should be the same dv dt here. That is, if you don't want to differentiate, you just set up the differential volume of this coin-like shape surface. But I'll present the other way. I use similar solids. This volume V at any time as to cube of height equals volume of the cone, which is pi 5 square over 3 times 12 as to height of the cone, 12 cube. So simplifying, volume is 25 pi over 432 h cubed. Differentiating with respect to time, so that would be 25 pi over 144 h square, 25 pi over 42 times 3h square dh dt. That reduces to that, dh dt. So dv dt is 1 cubic foot per second equals 25 pi over 144 when the depth is 8 feet, so 8 square dh dt. Solving for dh dt, that's 0.09 divided by pi foot per second. Then let's convert that to inches per minute. So times 12 inches per foot times 60 seconds per minute, cancel cancel foot, cancel second, so that would be inches per minute. 20.63 inches per minute. Then example 20, a light is placed on the ground 45 feet from a building. So this is the building, that's 45 feet, that's the light. A man 6 feet tall walks from the light toward the building at a rate of 6 feet per second. So if we call the distance of the man at any time from the light, that's x, that's changing as the man walks. And the rate at which x is changing is the rate at which the man walks, dx dt, and it is equal to 6 feet per second. Then find the rate at which is shadow on the building. So if you notice that when the man approaches the building, the shadow of the man decreases. So it is expected, ds dt expected negative. So find the rate at which the shadow on the building is decreasing when he is 15 feet from the building. When the man is 15 feet from the building, then x is 30 feet, 45 minus 15. So to relate s with x by similar triangles, s as to 45 equals 6 as to x. S therefore is 270 over x. The derivative of s with respect to time is constant, then 270, then derivative of 1 over x is negative 1 over x squared dx dt. Substituting, ds dt is negative 270 over x squared, x is 30 feet when the man is 15 feet from the building, times dx dt positive 6. So the value is negative, showing that the rate at which the shadow of the man on the building is indeed decreasing. So the negative sign means it decreases. Sample 21, this is the last problem. Water is poured into a hemispherical tank at a constant rate. So dV dt, that's the unknown. The tank is 2.4 meters across the top. So meaning to say the radius big R is 1.2, half of 2.4 meters. When the depth of water in the tank is 0.6 meter, when H is 0.6, the water surface rises at the rate of 4 mm per second. So dH dt is positive because it rises 4 mm per second, or 4 divided by 1000 meter per second. Calculate the rate at which water is poured into the tank. So find the discharge or dV dt. So we set up first the volume of the oil in the tank in cubic meter. Formula, water rather. So volume, this is a spherical segment of one base. So pi h square over 3 quantity 3r minus h. Let's distribute h square. So pi over 3, 3 big R constant, then h square minus h cube. Differentiating the volume with respect to h, so constant copy. Then 3r times derivative of h squared, 2h dh dt, that's 6rh dh dt, minus 3h squared dh dt. Substituting pi over 3 quantity 6, r is 1.2. When the depth is 0.6, so 0.6, dh dt is 4 mm per second, or 0.004 meter per second. Then minus 3 times h 0.6 square dH dt 0.004 meter per second. So dV dt is the discharge 0.01357 cubic meters per second. So if there is a shortcut to this, my shortcut way is I derive the differential volume, which is like a coin, which is pi radius at that level square dH. Then I divide that by dt, that's my dV dt right away, then the result should be the same. Although for other tanks like cones, frustum of a pyramids, you just look at for the shortcut way of solving that time rate of change for those tanks I mentioned. There's a shortcut to that, but I'm not going to present that because it's the technique by other vloggers. You just find it out. And also, I don't want to do that because I can solve time rate problems using the traditional approach. Why use the calculator when you will forget that? But if you're good in calculus, you will not forget this solution, this analysis. That's it.